Christ, I'm getting too close to something. There's a trail of bodies and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Marcian, Peregrine, they've all disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday. And they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about the Firewing that I've been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later but wrong somehow. Scary stuff. I'm starting to think that it's true. Blitz leans in to whisper to you. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much stock in them. Not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? What's happening here? He pauses for a moment, and as if seriously considering the question. Then he shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. I'm smack in the middle of it. Iger cuts it. That's a bit of a leap. Is it though? Is it really? Or are you being sarcastic? One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all of this. Apparently, a decker named Hellebore posted a theory about Feuerschwinger on the Shadowrun BBS about 5 years ago. But an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in meat space and cooked her entire apartment with her in it. How do you know this? If what Tolstoy told me was true, Hellebore live posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin grafts. Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace. Holy shit. Leap, Iger love? Sounds like he's on the right track to me. Iger holds his silence, but concedes the point with a small nod. Jesus Christ. On the screen, Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally, he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has got to be Feuerschwinger. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive and she's out of the SOX. She's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid goddamn lead. I've backtraced all of the Matrix nodes that Hellebore was looking into, back before she got cooked. Whoever's been purging the Matrix didn't think about that, and I found that she turned up. Winters stabs a few keys on his keyboard, and an image expands to fill the screen of his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape, annotated with GPS data. A set of map coordinates, probably Harfeld Manor, innit? So now I've got a target, a place to start digging. The Harfeld Manor, conveniently located on an isolated stretch of countryside, miles away from prying eyes. Matrix records indicate that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate, so that's what I need to get into. And this is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left. Monica. I think I'm going to tap Schaefer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there, and she's gullible enough to take this job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about flux state security, and she'll lead it up with a spoon. Oh, you dick. I warned her. Amsel's voice choked with rage. I warned her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts and a broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night, I should have the information that I need. And on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that'll be something to tell me something too. Can't make an omelette and all that. Until then. Well, track 6, boy. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You are looking at the tattered drapes and nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room in Das Kesselhaus. The timestamp of the video reads 10th of November, 54. There is a blur of motion, and the haggard form of Green Winters lumbers into frame. Suspicions confirmed. Schaefer is dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, it returns clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in the Kreuzbazar. Schäfer killed on the estate run. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Schäfer's skill and experience, on-site IC must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money. Real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the fire wing is too strong. So let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we're dealing with here. And the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connections. And the flux states can be a hell of a weapon for a man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces and swallows. Time for me to make my plan. Ghost stories or no, missing deckers or no, I've got to jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Well, they weren't. Winters drains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later, you hear the dull clattering sound of plastic on linoleum. Schäfer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the F-state. But still, all things considered. Winters fishes something off screen. A moment later, his hand reappears clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. He plugs the cable into his head and the screen cuts into static. But hold on! If he was in the Matrix, right? How did he... and then got killed in the Matrix, how did he do the DVDs? As your finger nears the eject button, a black screen cuts over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's haggard face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess they caught up to me. They will be after you too now. Blitz whispers into your ear again, more harshly this time. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? Not now, Blitz. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Not because he's my brother. Because if Feuerschwing is rising again, he's the only one who can stop. But is he though? There's people who know how his weapon worked. Why would you assume that in a world in which people know a whole lot more about dragons than they did back in 2012, and the weapon that Vauclair developed still exists, nobody would be able to kill a dragon? Why would you assume this? You've seen what happens to people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next unless you can find Adrian! The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon, son of a bitch. Green Winter sets us up against a dragon. The Fire Wing. Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives. But that's like the one thing that we don't have any evidence for, though, so I wouldn't assume that. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Iger ignores him. Wait a second. We don't know for certain. Exactly. Dietrich lays a hand on Iger's shoulder. The evidence seemed pretty convincing to me, love. Well, not to me. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room falls silent. Iger and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. Just think about it. You know, if Obama wasn't a reptilian, then how come he became the president? The Decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Feuerschwinge. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and the Harfeld Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there, Flaschenbeißer. Something far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it. And I think that, given what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. I mean, she seemed pretty insane last time she was around. I don't know. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon and she will come after us, what do you propose that we do about it? Fuck. Yeah, this makes sense. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to follow Winter's advice. We're going to find Vauclair. Yes, Flush&Bice is right. Finding Dr. Vauclair should be our priority. If we're going up against a dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Well, you know, Dietrich is actually a dragon slayer totem shaman. Winter spent 20 years searching for Vauclair, and it got him nowhere. How do you propose we find him? With the help of an information broker. You think Winters didn't try that, Mr. Amsel? I'm gonna go to talk to Altug then. For this, no. Well, Herr Buragazi is very capable. A task of this magnitude is beyond him. We'll need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We'll need to talk to Alice. Blitz scoffs at Amsel. Alice! Best of luck, and I hope that you're rich. Amsel raises an eyebrow. For this? Rich enough, even if only just. Who is this Alice person? The most prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community, ex-Schockwellenreiter. She provides information retrieval services for the F-State. Amsel returns the computer console behind him and runs his fingers over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Vauclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spurts out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with... Oh! I have to remember this. I have to, talk to Spooky about shit. I'm gonna put this scented candle here on top of this other scented candle, so I remember that later. A cred stick? Amsel nods. An encoded cred stick, yes, 10,000 million. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal What? I thought you were rich! This represents the last of my personal savings, Flush&Bice, so make this meeting count. 10,000 million? Just to talk to her? Amsel nods. Her standard fee. Alice is in a position to ask it, and we're in no position to argue. And just like I said, why doesn't anyone listen to me? Well, where do I need to go? I take the U-Bahn to the Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connecting tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her, though. Word of the street is that she hates it. Wait, what? Please hurry while you're out. While you're out, I'll work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match. I'm gonna try to go on Shadowland BBS because maybe I can sell some of the pay data that we have acquired. Get on Shadowland. Post pay data for sale. Antiquette's delivery schedule. Nice. Nice. Relevant keywords. Who is Blutz? I think that's the name. I'm still recovering the logs. This hot dogger just trashed my Landtrid hosting server. It's like some kid pissed over his cartoons getting cancelled. Left a bunch of garbage files all over my disks, and I'll be cleaning them up all day. They should make you pass a dumbass test before you're allowed to deck in this town. Okay. Step up your security. Write some wide IC programs if you can. At least make the kid's hair stand on end for a few hours next time he tries it. Just make sure that your IC is quick. Heavy hitting IC is no good if it can't catch up with an intruder. A fact that I take advantage of on a regular basis. Always running, eh, clockwork? I like clockwork. If you two are finished, if you two are finished, I did have IC on the thing. Track the hole down. What? Grocery store across the street was piggybacking on my LAN, and they left an unsecured jack point in a bathroom stall. Old as hell maintenance jack in a fuse box, and my security ignored it. Mystery solved. Shadowrun isn't your personal tech support board, Lumens. This is like the real internet, man. I'm glad to see you fix your own problem. Only way you're going to learn. Jesus. This thread is called Where to Find Elves? Question mark. Well, where to find elves indeed. Is there any elf clubs or bars in the downtown area? I really want to meet one. They're just so beautiful. Maybe we can go dancing. Do elves like dancing? Asks Alex Tusk. Oh shit, boy! There's one on Torstrasse. Bring a bouquet of roses. Elves love a romantic. The elf clubs I know of are members only due to creepy groupies like you. Not really appealing when a guy is only after them for the shape of their ears. Ear fetish confirmed, to be honest. No more posts on this thread. Well, I'm glad. Client screwed me. Benno is a fraud. I broke my first rule. Always get full payment up front. He left me hanging for 50% of the cash after I completed the job. I'm sure he'll have changed his name by the time this posting goes up. Male elf, brown hair, gold eyes, looked to be in his mid-30s. Be careful who you work for out there. I never thought I'd see you admit to a mistake on here. Thanks for the heads up. I'll keep my eyes. Will FWD any info I come across if you're still looking to collect from the guy. Pro Shots sent you some surveillance footage. Is this your man? Sure is. Nice one. I'll split the take with you if this leak pans out. Good to find there's still some honor among runners. Okay, I'm not gonna go to the killer in Seattle. Post-pay. Do I have any other pay data? I don't have any other pay data. Okay, let's go. This jobs directory. What do we have? Active. We have no jobs. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna walk away. What was I supposed to do though? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go to this other subway place, right? Now, my last playthrough, I helped Samuel Beckenbauer deck out his ore control place with a lot of money because he seemed like such a nice fella. I don't think that will be very in character with this time around. An arcade machine, is it? The only active console in this derelict span of U-Bahn platform is an old video arcade machine. The CRT monitor set into the machine's cabinet glows invitingly. Cheerful, pixelated graphics fill in dance on the screen. I have a huge, brilliant idea. Maybe you have Metro, like Metro, which is a great franchise, except also you have it be on like a really high-tech sci-fi world. Like an Ecumenopolis type subway system where people live. Not because of, like, post-apocalypse, but, like, sections of it could be ruined post-apocalyptically. Because the thing I always miss in sort of sci-fi is legends. A lot of sci-fi is, you know, like, ghost stories and shit. Urban legends. Irrational shit. Because it's always very scientific. Like, society doesn't really think about... it's too rational that Skeptic TM has dominated, basically. But, like, that's already kind of the case in our world today, right? But we still... New urban legends pop up all the time. So I think more ghost spaceships would be pretty interesting. So sci-fi ecumenopolis subway metro.